Push out 20 of these. Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Boy running just a tad bit behind. Not too far, though. I'm going to keep that in the car. Yep. So, just running behind. Got to go take this test, which I'm confident I will pass the test. Just have to, took all the booklets of the test. So, and I'll be done. 1 second here. Okay. So we're gonna push this on out. Let me get on this damn road right quick here. Send these invites out. I try to do it anymore while I'm driving, but not the best example for everything all the time. So do it right now. Get my water ready soon. Your boy definitely gotta start drinking more water. And I gotta get my butt back in the gym. I looked at myself the other day in the mirror and I was like, damn, I don't look the way I used to look. Of course, I'm not 20 anyway, but I still, 20, the age don't make a difference. The age is just a number.
Take the next right, then turn right.
Back into the physical fitness that I need to be in.
Take the next right toward Stadium Drive, then turn left onto Stadium Drive.
So I'm putting this link here. I'm gonna put this link in here. Let me do it now. Paste this link. Bam. All right. So people coming in, you in here right now. I don't know who that is that's on there right now. But like I told you guys, every day I'm gonna bring you a different.
Take the next left onto Stadium Drive.
African American. That's not only just, we always talk about the past, but we also need to bring some things into the present when we're talking about people that's doing great things too, because we have a lot of great people that sit right before our face or that's presently in our time right now that's doing amazing.
Continue on Stadium Drive for 1 mile.
And sometimes we, that's probably gonna cause so much noise. We don't know about it, because let's understand something. If we already have the ability of a great people and we do things great, and there are those that want to keep us down, then limiting or not exposing the great accomplishments that continue to keep happening even present day is one of the ways to try to prolong that. Because you can't bottle up greatness. You can put in the bottle, but at some point it's going to burst out the bottle anyway. So it's like pressure. You can only pressurize. Nothing really can stand. There's only a certain amount of pressure anything can stand. I don't care. A container can only stand so much pressure. You go beyond that pressure, and that metal container will blow up. It'll bust. It'll break into things, crack, whatever. So it's kind of that same thing, or that same. I tell you, these people out here, their driving skills are so bad. But so the same thing happens when we're talking about what we're being exposed to, what's happening, what we're able to do, what we're not doing that could definitely help us, right? So here we are, as a people, we put ourselves in that position. But here's the great thing about that as well.
Continue on South Railroad Street for 1.5 miles.
Because of everything that's around us now, as far as technology-wise, we are literally able to tap into what's happening today, what great inventions is going on, what are we missing out on, or what are we not being exposed to that would allow us the great opportunity to have that little more exposure. She walk on the train tracks. So the one thing I want to bring up is Ray Montague, right? Ray Montague is an African American woman. This African American woman here is amazing, and amazing for many reasons, but also she invented the GPS system. And I've touched on this a little bit earlier, a couple days ago, about how important that GPS system is. Your car, I'm driving it right now, has a GPS system on it. Your watch has a GPS system to cell phone with a GPS system to it. And Ray Montague, which is an African American woman, invented the GPS system. She invented the GPS system that is now used all over. I stop at a stoplight right here, and I'm looking. They have GPS systems sitting up on the poles, right? You can see the box right there. The box, that satellite box, is a GPS system up right there. So she invented this. This great woman, invented this GPS system that we use so much today. Now the GPS system has become so much a part of our everyday life that we don't even know we're using it. It's just automatic to everything now, right? So,
in a quarter mile, turn left toward US 280 West, US 431 North.
The reason why I wanted to bring that on, or the reason I wanted to talk about that in particular, or even just mention it, really just, hey, I just want to mention it, is because, you know, one of the things that we get is past African Americans that
take the next left toward US 280 West, US 431 North, then turn right onto US 280 West.
Many great African Americans right now, African American descent, melanin descent, however you want to put it, that's doing awesome and amazing and things right now that's contributing to society in this way. And it's up to us to be able to truly understand that we had to tap into that. Nobody else is going to tap into that.
Take the next left to stay on South Railroad Street, then turn right onto US 280 West.
Or what that brings forth, us tap into it. Right? So we can't rely on somebody else to per se to do something for us that we should definitely do for ourselves. What is it for him?
Take the next right onto US 280 West, US 431 North.
When we talk about what's going on today, or when we talk about a lot of things that can be solved for today, we have to understand that we're talking about a solution.
Continue on US 431 North for 21 miles.
We understand the issues. We get those parts right there. We got them. We understand them and stuff. But now we got to become proactive to understand the solutions to our problems. And I tell people that if we're trying to change financial gaps, if we're trying to do better financially, if we're trying to improve our communities, if we're trying to do whatever it is, stop violence, stop gang violence, we have to also, let's not be blind to the fact that our young men and women are not just pushing a lot of dope into our communities themselves. How you doing, Teresa Elamine? Our young men and women are not just popping guns into our community themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, they're doing the wrong thing. They are, and that's accountability to it. But how do we curb that? What's the underlying factor for that? Why are they doing that? Why? What is the reason for that? And when we look at our communities, if we're talking about African Americans and stuff like that, we also have to look at the fact that a lot of times, majority of jobs in our communities or business in our communities are not owned by us. So we have a big problem that's smack right there in our face. Is that we're trying to solve a solution to a problem when we're not even in control of being able to apply the solution itself. We can't walk into business and say, well, you need to hire this person. Oh, they're gonna build a house, what's that right there too? Hey. So we can't walk into places and we can't walk into these businesses or companies and say, well, you need to hire so and so and so and such because of this and this, because legally we can't do that. That's not how it works. But what happens when we begin to take more responsibility and say, you know what, let's become the owners or the ownership within our community. Let's create the business in our own community. And therefore, we can hire a lot of the young men and women in our community, and just not hiring them, but now we begin to put them in a position where we're teaching them business ownership, financial management education, financial investing, right? Because you can begin to change your whole perspective financially and your outcome on what you're doing in life so many different ways. It's amazing, right? So you're making money so many different ways, or your money's being able to go for you so many different ways. It becomes amazing to where your free time now becomes your time, really, right? But if we're not in that position where we are able to do that, or we're not doing that when it comes down to financial ownership and that responsibility factor. I don't know how that paused. I ain't pausing. But what are we really doing, or what are we really saying, or what are we really, portraying? So that's why I'm always telling people that, business ownership is the way to go. Many different ways we can get into it. Many different ways. I'm not pausing you. Many different ways that we can do that. But we have to be on both sides of it. We have to be honest with ourselves, transparent. But we also have to be able to tackle the issues that stand at hand from a standpoint of ownership. I've always told people this, and I truly believe it. I don't care. You can march, you can pray, you can go do anything you want to do about gang violence, violence in the community, whatever. If you don't own the community, you ain't changing nothing in the community. Because what can you change? You don't own anything. And I just think you're going to pause. I'm not pausing. No. So we had to get ourselves in a position to understand ownership. Ownership. What will help us change a lot of things in our own life is ownership. How do we own that? We need to own the stuff in our community. Some people live next to abandoned buildings in their community. You think they ever find out how much that abandoned building is, or that abandoned piece of property is? No. But they know how much the Jordans is. They know how much the LeBrons is coming out. They know we know a lot about things that does nothing for us positively as far as progressively. And we know a lot of information about empty stuff, but we don't know enough information about stuff that's going to be productive and progressive for us. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, Miss Alfreda? So when we're talking about ownership, when we're talking about, put your money where your mouth is in a certain way, we have to also implement the financial education part about that, because a lot of us are financially illiterate or uneducated about finances, uneducated about how to handle money, uneducated about really how to make our money work for us in a way that is greatly benefiting us. So we're able to become the investor on that piece of property, or we're able to become the investor and we open that business. Those type of things is what's going to progressively push us forward. It's not the other stuff. It's not the walking around the neighborhood with $200 pair of LeBrons on. It's not $200 pair of Jordans on, or the whole Nike Jordan outfit. It's not. It looks nice. It looks very nice. But if you ask somebody who they own stock in Nike, they can tell you they don't. And that becomes the point. What I'm saying is that we, instead of making our money work for us, I told a young gentleman, I said, if you buy stock, if you buy the Nike stock is like it's $100 a share, $101 a share. So you buy 2 shares of Nike stock, right? The price of the cost of some LeBrons or Jordans, whatever like that, and you continue to do that. What ends up happening is that when the quarters come back to you, every quarter when they do the returns, whatever like that, your money has literally bought you a pair of shoes. But the thing is about it is that your money isn't empty. Your money's still growing. So the returns you're getting every quarter may buy you a pair of shoes or an outfit or whatever like that, but it's still growing. So now 4 quarters a year, you're able to go out and buy stuff, but your money isn't depleted because your money's still growing. That's just the dividends that come off of what the growth is of it, right? So those type of things is what we continue to try to be able to push and understand and wrap our mind around, is that a lot of times financially, it's not us pointing a finger at this community or these people or this race of people. A lot of the finger pointing to go back at ourselves, because we sit smack dead in the middle of our own neighborhoods and communities that dilapidated, that's having gang issues and drug issues and stuff like that, and we contribute to it, even though we're not contributing as far as the negative side affecting, doing it exactly, but we're contributing because we're not taking advantage of the opportunity to become ownership. And as soon as someone else come in, open up a corner store in our community, open up the gas station in our community, open up the nail salon in our community, well, like that, we start complaining. Well, they just taking stuff in our community. No, but we never position ourselves to do the same thing. We position ourselves to become consumers. We position ourselves to become consumers. We grow up. We teach each other. We kind of like nurture that and drill that into our family, our siblings, our young cousins and brothers, sisters, whatever. We drill into our minds to become consumers, and we never become the person that's actually with the selling the product. So we have to change that mindset. We change the mindset that we can still consume, but why don't I consume with the other African American store business that's across the street, or down the street, or in my own community? If I'm doing that, now what I'm doing automatically, I'm creating a group economics, but at the same time, I'm supplying a job, I'm supplying a financial stability system, I'm putting in a lot of effort and an investment back into our own communities. Our African American communities, we have a problem, and we are the only solution to our problem. It's not the government. It's never going to be the government. The government is not designed to fix our problems. It's not even designed. They can't fix their own problems. So, the local government, the city government, I don't care. It's not designed to go in and fix one race problems. And personally, you don't want them coming in and fixing your race problem, because a lot of problems were created by them in the first place. But how do we fix our own problems? We begin to set up businesses in our own communities. We begin to take homes, invest in the homes, bringing them up above the market value, selling them, or whatever, beautifying our own communities. And as we do that, the property value increases, the business value increases, like more businesses and stuff like that. And now we can bring and attract other things that come to our communities, right? Now we're able to sit and say, okay, well, instead of kids that hang on the corner, I'm gonna hire 2 or 3 of them. They finna come work for me, right? They'll come work for me, and they look for jobs. A lot of these young people looking for is money. We have to become the solution for them to be able to obtain that money they're looking for. And if we do that, then what we do now we're able to effectively say, okay, now the marches and the prayers and the stop the violence in communities, now a lot of that right there becomes more effective, because now we're in a position of where we're able to actively, we're not passive anymore, we're actively applying the solution. We're actively becoming a part of the solution in our own communities, and that right there becomes very important. The great important piece of that is being able to put ourselves in a position of where we're able to do more. That is going to be very important. I keep telling people, man, and I truly believe this, that we have so much power. There's so much financial power in our communities. There's this thing that they say, well, the ghetto, they want to call it the ghetto, whatever. African American communities, or Hispanic, Latino, they're poor communities. But every time you turn around, they open up business in our community, so it's not poor. That's where the money is at. We just have always we've always put ourselves in a position to become a consumer in our own communities instead of being the seller in our communities, right? Instead of having a business owner instead of being a business owner in our communities. We change that. If we change that just 30%, we change that. We can start changing that. Be the ones that have the gas station. Be the ones for the corner store. Not the liquor store. We don't need more liquor stores. We need to get rid of liquor stores in our communities. They don't do nothing but promote and lead to craziness. But we promote more of the businesses that come to our communities, and then we actually consume and shop these businesses right there. We are directly affecting, and we're improving the financial situation in our own communities. Now we don't have people living below the poverty line. We didn't bring them up to the median line or whatever like that. Now we don't have to sit and worry about people stretching out on welfare, because now there's enough money for them to get off of welfare. But the more we don't understand that the gold mine sits in our communities, the less that we're going to be able to be effective in improving our communities. That's why you see people now trying to go to the local government telling them doing this in our communities, or bringing more police to our communities. Those things are not their solution. They're a small thing of solution to it, and it's good. Nothing is positive, but at the same time, we are are the solution. We have real estate investors, right? We have business investors, entrepreneurs. And it's nothing to be able to put that to work in a way that is creating group economics. And as we create group economics, what we're also doing is we're strengthening our financial exchange of money amongst ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you look at a lot of other ethnicities or races, they do the same thing in a way that's we kind of like we ignore it, right? In a way, let's say like this: Asians don't do business with African Americans. I've never seen an Asian come into a chicken shack or whatever like that, and buy chicken. I've never seen it. I've never seen them come to the African American car washing and get their car washed or that. I've never seen them come to the place to get their haircut. They don't, because they go amongst their own people, and that's how they do their money. So their money stays within their circle of people. So they're not petitioning to the government to do a lot of things. They're doing themselves. They're creating that system of strength themselves, of where they're saying, well, we're going to improve our own communities. We're going to make our own communities nice. We're going to financially stand up ourselves in a way that we are doing what we want to do. And what happens is, because they become a financial stronghold so much, now the local government goes to them and says, well, what do you, when they want to get elected, they go to them and, well, what do you want me to do? And now they become kind of like eating out their hand in a way, or, becoming really subservient to them. But for us as African Americans, melanated, how we want to put it, beautiful brown people, we have to begin to also understand that our standpoint has to do the same thing, and we do it in such a way that it's 10 times as stronger, because everything we do, it blossoms. Everything we've done in this country has been blessed. It's like Ray Montague. I put her link is in the top part right here. African American woman African American woman who created a GPS system, right? So her creating a GPS system showed greatness right there in itself, right? Even though they didn't want to expose it that she created for many decades or whatever like that. Excuse me. But she did. And how many businesses, institutions, business, services, infrastructures are benefiting from the GPS system right now? And it becomes that same thing. If we just understand how valuable we are as a people, how smart, how intelligent, how strong we are if we come together, we move so fast and do so much when we come together. It's scary. And that's why a lot of those people are scared of us in that way, because that's why they always want to invest in keeping us divided, keeping us on an island, keeping us competing against each other. No collaboration. They want us to compete against each other. They want us to down each other. They want to try to tear each other down, because when we come together and we do something, not only is it powerful, but it moves so fast. We do it so fast. They don't understand how it's done. They don't understand. They don't get to how we're able to really do that in that type of way. It's puzzling. But then at the same time, it's fearful. But we can do the same thing when we come down to our communities. We can literally team up. Business, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, whatever. We can team up and tackle apartments. We can tackle property. We can tackle situations. We can tackle projects. And it becomes a benefit for everybody. Just not one person, but we have to get out the mindset of thinking that I need to become wealthy and rich myself. I need to get ahead myself. We need to think about going long term and how far can I go. If I can just get 5% of this deal that I got, maybe, there's 20 other people involved, we all got 5% of the deal, that's still a win-win, because now guess what? When we go do another deal, that's another 5% of that deal. And the cash flow of it is 5%. It becomes amazing when now we sit up here with 10 deals, 5% of each deal, and each one of us is still hitting off 50% of the money. and all we're doing is sitting here teaming up and combining the strength and intelligence of each other and supporting each other to be able to do just that. If you sit and watch, a lot of other races watch what we do, and then they put it to work in themselves, and then they try to discourage us from doing or openly doing the thing that they watch us do already. You know, common sense goes down with that. You know, I would dare, or I would have, not dare, but I would definitely put the challenge into effect of us being able to come together. 4 or 5 of us come together. That's really into real estate. Really into real estate. You know, whether 4 or 5 of us come together in the real estate. 4 or 5 come together in the business, and we begin to start tackling that issue. And all it has to do is start one real estate property, or one real estate idea, a deal. Putting those minds together and doing that deal, and then doing another deal, and doing another deal.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Fox Run Parkway.
It becomes a position, or we put ourselves in a position to where now we're able to do a lot more. We're able to really do a lot more, and we're at the same time, we're positively being a positive.
Turn right onto Fox Run Parkway, then turn right onto Fox Run Avenue.
In our own communities. Now we're no longer sitting around, I'm going to say asking the question, but we're no longer sitting around feeling overwhelmed by the idea of what's happening in our communities, because now we've enriched our community so much that we're not.
Take the next right onto Fox Run Avenue.
Not an issue. Drugs gonna always be some type of issue or problem, because there's people out here that do things that they want to do. They're grown, but I'm saying it won't be an epidemic.
In a quarter mile, turn left.
It won't be something that overwhelms the community. Now, those type of things right there. Now we're able to at least have the strength to put a person into a rehab, or even have a drug center built, a drug rehab place built in the outside of the community, or in a part of the community where, hey, it's beneficial. There's so many things that we can do when we begin to start focusing and understanding that it's just not talking about it, but it's so realistic for us to do it.
Take the next left, then you will arrive at your destination.
That's the part that becomes scary. How fast can we do it when we come together? How fast can it be done when we come together? There's a lot of financial power and intellectual property power sitting right amongst us. Just like we go out and watch the football game and chill and have fun, we can do other things too. But
You have arrived.
On if we want to do that, the focus has to be if that's really what we're trying to do. Those and we can't be afraid, or we can't become complacent to the idea that it can only be done on this level right here, or done like this. Man, come on, bros. Walking out slow, cause white people something else. But we just have to be able to understand that in doing it, or in pushing to do it, that if that becomes our focus, if that becomes our goal, we change our own communities. We take more control of our own communities. Now that part right there presents a whole nother issue in itself. Excuse me for a second, I have to go in here and partake in taking this test for my permit. But I'll be back and hopefully get some more people involved in a conversation of group economics, because I believe that's one of the things that we continue to fail at, is coming together and focusing on a goal collectively and finding the right people that can do that. So I'll be back in a second, and I'll take this test. Y'all have a blessed morning. Thank you for tuning in to me. Thank you for listening. Hopefully I said something that sparks your interest or sparks a conversation, and you take it from there. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.